हाँ यार जल्दी चेक कर रिजल्ट यार, क्या निकला?
हाँ देख रहा हूँ, ओपन हो रहा है वेबसाइट।
क्या हुआ भाई, क्या निकला? क्या हुआ भाई, चुप क्यों है, बता ना।
नहीं हुआ यार क्लियर, मेरा तो 90 मार्क्स ही बने मेरे। तेरा हुआ क्या क्लियर?
हाँ भाई मेरा तो 78 नंबर बना, कैटेगरी लगता है ना मेरा तो।
सही है यार तेरा।
यार ऐसे हार नहीं मानते यार, तूने मेहनत पूरी की थी, 2 मार्क्स से ही तो रह गया। किस्मत सही नहीं थी बट नेक्स्ट टाइम हो जाएगा तेरा।
किस्मत की बात नहीं है यार, 2-3 साल हो गया पेपर देते देते, हर बार वही 1-2 मार्क्स से रह जाता है।
तूने इतनी मेहनत की है पहले, ऐसे हार मान जाएगा, फायदा क्या?
हो गया भाई मेरा, वही मॉक्स दो, आंसर राइटिंग प्रैक्टिस करो, काम का इतना टेंशन, एंजाइटी। छोड़ भाई, अभी ऑफिस में हूँ मैं, बाद में बात करता हूँ तेरे
बाद
से।
में बात करते हैं, ध्यान रखो।
चल।
$90 marks, failed. 68 marks, passed. What you just saw, that's not a rare story. It's the story of millions of general category students fighting their way through one system, reservation. A system every political party loves to protect.
हम रिजर्वेशन को 50% से आगे बढ़ाने वाले हैं।
किसी भी आरक्षण को कोई खरोच तक नहीं आए।
Why? Because it guarantees them one thing, votes. There is one thing every political party promises their voters in their rallies, reservation. Every few years, just before election, a debate heats up in the country.
जब तक रिजर्वेशन आरक्षण रहेगा, देश का भला नहीं हो सकता।
अगर भेदभाव है तो फिर आरक्षण मिलना चाहिए।
रिजर्वेशन होना चाहिए कि उसके घर वाले या उसका सोशल बैकग्राउंड इतना सक्षम है या नहीं है।
And regardless of who they are, what they do, everyone has a strong opinion.
हमें रिजर्वेशन इसलिए मिलना जरूरी है कि सदियों से हमारे साथ छुआछूत हुई।
For decades, critics have called reservation the death of meritocracy.
वो उस सोसाइटी में नहीं जाना चाहते ना जहाँ वर्क करना पड़े, काम से बचना चाहते हैं।
It's often viewed as an easy way out for those who belong to backward classes, and to some extent, that criticism is not entirely baseless. Over the last 2 decades, communities from all over the country have emerged and strongly protested to get themselves included in backward classes only so they can get reservation.
हमें आरक्षण चाहिए, और आरक्षण क्यों नहीं चाहिए? जाट का बच्चा है जो 95% लेने के बाद भी उसको गवर्नमेंट जॉब नहीं मिलती है, जबकि SC ST वाले 45 या 65% पे भी गवर्नमेंट जॉब पे अच्छी पोस्ट पे वो बैठ जाते हैं।
But there is one group that feels the weight of it the most, the middle class general category aspirants.
कैटेगरी वालों का 60 और जनरल वालों का 90
नहीं भाई, 92 था कट ऑफ।
भाई थोड़ा अनफेयर तो है जनरल वालों।
थोड़ा भाई, बहुत अनफेयर है। ये तो बस चलता रहा है, इसलिए कोई कुछ बोल नहीं रहा है।
क्या बातें हो रही हैं? भाई का यूपीएससी में निकला, 2 नंबर से रह गया, और इसके दोस्त का रिजर्वेशन के चक्कर में निकल गया।
पर यार अगर रिजर्वेशन नहीं होगा तो बैकवर्ड कम्युनिटी वाले आगे नहीं आ पाएंगे।
बे आए ना आगे, जिनको एक्चुअल में रिजर्वेशन की जरूरत है, अगर उनको मिले हम खुद सपोर्ट करेंगे।
भाई मेरे गांव में इतने SC ST परिवार हैं जिनको रिजर्वेशन सच में चाहिए, लेकिन ना उनके पास कोई एजुकेशन है, ना कोई इनके पास टाइम है इन सब चक्करों में पढ़ने का, तो वही उन कुछ लोगों को मिलता रहता है।
और इसलिए ये क्वेश्चन रह ही जाता है कि क्या रिजर्वेशन एक्चुअल में उनको सपोर्ट कर रहा है जिनको जरूरत है।
To a majority of general category students, reservation seems extremely unfair. Some say it should be based on economic conditions. Some believe higher education should not have reservation. And some feel there should be reservation on gender basis. But are we even asking the right questions? Because if we keep arguing over how reservation works, we will never ask why it exists in the first place. So, is reservation doing what it was meant to? Or has it turned unfair for general students? Is reservation even helping anyone? Or is it just a political tool to attract easy vote banks? And lastly, the most important question, is reservation killing meritocracy? My name is Lavina Kamath, and here's the full disclosure. We're very excited to be a part of the 01 Media Network. Together, we will bring you well-researched videos on careers, different industries, and the evolving job market. And if you like the content we bring for you, Please show us your support by subscribing because it really keeps us motivated to keep going.
In this street live Brahmin.
For over 90 years, reservation has sparked one of the longest running debates in India. Chances are that you have experienced it in some way, which is why I assume reservation feels personal to you. Maybe you felt the system is unfair. Maybe you've benefited from it and believe you rightly deserve it. Or maybe you're just unsure on why it exists at all. But before debating whether it is fair or flawed, we need to understand how reservation actually works today. According to the 2011 census, India's population is about 121 crores. Out of these, roughly 20 crore are scheduled castes and 10 crore are scheduled tribes. SCs make up 16.6% of the population and get 15% reservation. STs at 8.6% get 7.5%, and OBCs form around 52% and receive 27%. The rest, EWS and PWD, get 10% and 4% respectively. So roughly 75% of India's population is eligible for 60% of reserved seats, leaving the remaining 40% for merit-based selection. But then, this seems fair, right? After all, reservation is there to correct historical injustice and ensure that representation is there for all oppressed communities.
जनरल कैटेगरी का मतलब वही है कि आपको कितना भी आप मेहनत करो, आपको गवर्नमेंट से कोई बेनिफिट नहीं मिलेगा।
जिन लोगों के घर में सरकारी नौकरी है, उनको उसके बाद भी आरक्षण क्यों मिल रहा है?
To understand where the anger around reservation comes from, let's look at what an average general category student actually goes through in India.
ये फर्स्ट टाइम थोड़ी हुआ है मेरे साथ। जेई मेंस के टाइम भी सेम हुआ था। साला 3 साल कोचिंग करो, 4-5 लाख फी में लगाओ, 10-10 घंटे पढ़ाई, फ्रेंड्स नहीं, घूमना नहीं, सब कुछ बंद, और एंड में होता क्या है? जनरल का कट ऑफ 90 और ST वालों का 60-70 रह जाता है। हर एग्जाम का यही हाल है। नीट में देख ले तू, एम्स के लिए जनरल वालों को 200 नंबर एक्स्ट्रा चाहिए। 200 नंबर भाई।
मैं बताऊं सॉल्यूशन?
अबे नहीं यार, सॉल्यूशन कुछ भी नहीं है। यहीं से प्रॉब्लम शुरू होती है, रिजेंटमेंट बढ़ता है। सिस्टम इतना अनफेयर है यार, ये क्यों नहीं आएगा गुस्सा?
You study the same syllabus, you write the same exam, you chase the same dream, but the finish line is not in the same place for everyone. And if you're the one running farther, it feels deeply and fundamentally unfair. But the truth is, this cutoff gap, it's just the surface of the real problems within India's reservation system. In 2023, the Rohini Commission found that 97% of reserved seats went to just 25% of OBC subcastes. Out of 2,600 OBC communities, nearly 1,000 have zero representation. Zero. And this is the creamy layer problem. The creamy layer refers to wealthier, better educated individuals within the reserved categories who benefit the most, while the poorest, who truly need support, they get left behind. But even if we fix this, another big criticism remains, that reservation dilutes merit. Most reserved category employees remain at the lowest levels of the system. In 2012, about 40% of sanitation workers were SCs. Among OBCs too, most are concentrated in such jobs. And as the roles get higher, their numbers drop sharply. In elite services like IAS and IPS, OBCs, SCs and STs make up only 27% of recruits in the last 5 years. And meanwhile, a new challenge has emerged these days. Because it's an easy way out, everyone today wants a quota. Okay, I need to interrupt our story to share something exciting from the sponsors of this video, Odoo. Odoo is a centralized all-in-one platform for entrepreneurs that simplifies day-to-day management of any business. From invoicing, accounting, project management, inventory to website creation and a lot more. With Odoo's CRM, you get a visual pipeline through a clean, easy dashboard where each opportunity appears as a clear card with key details like contact information, priority level, and expected revenue. The Kanban view arranges everything by stage, with each lead shown as a card, and you can simply drag cards to different stages as you progress with the lead. All your emails and calls can also be automatically linked to the right lead thanks to the inbuilt Odoo chatter. So every conversation, every update and every follow-up stays super organized and efficient. You can also save your own email templates or use the built-in ChatGPT integration to work faster. Odoo also provides accurate and real-time sales data that actually makes sense. You can dive deeper into metrics with revenue forecasts, track team performances, and build custom dashboards to focus on the insights that matter most. It also makes creating professional quotations incredibly easy with just 2 clicks, helping you respond to clients much faster. Odoo CRM integrates smoothly with all other Odoo apps, keeping your business connected and ready to scale. And all of this is available for just 580 rupees per month per user, with access to every application included. So if you want to close deals smoothly and stay in control of your workflow, Odoo CRM gives you everything that you need. Check out Odoo from the link in the description below. Now back to the video. Dominant communities like Jats in Haryana, Patels in Gujarat, and Marathas in Maharashtra are now demanding OBC status and reservation benefits. Historically, these communities depended on agriculture for their income. They were well off, socially dominant, and politically powerful in their regions. But as the job market moved away from agriculture, these communities began to fall behind. So they turned to the one tool they saw working for others: reservation. And this creates the final biggest problem: vote bank politics. Political parties see an opportunity. When a large community demands reservation, instead of fixing the root issues like creating jobs or expanding opportunities, they simply promise more and more quotas. It's easier, it's faster, and most importantly, it wins them votes. Politicians have now realized that if you want votes, don't build colleges, instead give quotas. Because new IITs will cost them 3,000 to 5,000 crores. It will take them 5 to 7 years and someone else will get the credit. But announcing just 10% more reservation requires one speech, instant votes, and someone else will have to deal with their mess. And as a result, states today like Tamil Nadu and Karnataka have even crossed the 50% reservation cap that was set by the Supreme Court.
मैं बताऊं सोल्यूशन क्या है। रिजर्वेशन हमेशा इकोनॉमिक बेसिस पर होना चाहिए। इतने सारे लोग फाइनेंशियली वीक हैं जो अपर कास्ट के हैं, उनको तो कोई बेनिफिट नहीं मिलता।
बिल्कुल, वही तो अगर रिजर्वेशन वाले ले लेगा तो वहाँ पे बहुत सारे लोग ऐसे हैं जो बहुत अमीर हैं, उनके पास बहुत पैसा है, उनके पास गाड़ी है, उनके पेरेंट्स गवर्नमेंट जॉब में है, लेकिन फिर भी रिजर्वेशन लेते रहते हैं।
एग्जैक्टली भाई, इंडिपेंडेंस के 70 साल हो गए हैं, बहुत कुछ बदल गया है। बहुत सारे बैकवर्ड कम्युनिटी के लोग आज अच्छी पोजीशंस में आ गए हैं और ना आज सबके पास स्मार्टफोन है, इंटरनेट है, इन्फॉर्मेशन फ्री है, ऑनलाइन एजुकेशन है। तो क्या अब भी कास्ट बेस्ड रिजर्वेशन का कोई सेंस बना रहा है?
बट एक मिनट, अगर सिर्फ इकोनॉमिक बेसिस पर रिजर्वेशन करते हैं तो कास्ट डिस्क्रिमिनेशन का क्या? वो तो अभी भी हो रहा है। और रिजर्वेशन ले आने का पूरा पॉइंट क्या था? ताकि बैकवर्ड कम्युनिटी को एंकरेज करे और मेन स्ट्रीम में ले आए। कहाँ हो रहा है इस समय में?
If you go back in history and check all the debates that took place, you will find reservation was never about money. It was created to solve a much larger social problem where entire groups of people were boxed under one label and they were treated the same. So when you look at it on a personal level, it might feel like someone undeserving took your place. But here's another way to think about it.
अच्छा, सुनो, सोचो एक घर में 2 बच्चे हैं, दोनों होमवर्क कर रहे हैं, एक मैथ्स में बहुत बढ़िया है और दूसरा थोड़ा स्ट्रगल करता है। तो तुम क्या करोगे? दोनों को एक ही तरीके से सिखाओगे? छोड़ो, एक बीमार है और दूसरा फिट है, तुम क्या करोगे? दोनों का ध्यान रख पाओगे एक तरीके से?
नहीं भाई, वो
इक्वालिटी का मतलब ये नहीं है कि सबको सेम देना है। इक्वालिटी का मतलब ये है जिसको जितना जरूरत है उसको उतना दो, ताकि सबको सेम मिले और सबको इक्वल अपॉर्चुनिटी मिले। और हम ये हर जगह करते हैं, बसेस में, सोसाइटीज में, घर में, सीनियर सिटीजन्स के लिए, वुमेन के लिए स्पेशल सीट्स है। ये भी तो एक टाइप का रिजर्वेशन ही है। यहाँ पे तो कोई किसी को गलत नहीं लगता और कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन भी तो यही कहता है, देश को एक परिवार मान के चलते हैं।
पर आफ्ताब भाई, बच्चे बड़े हो जाते हैं, इंडिपेंडेंट हो जाते हैं, कब तक हेल्प चाहिए इनको? ये रिजर्वेशन 30 साल से चलता आ रहा है।
30 क्या भाई, 70 साल से चलता आ रहा है, कुछ भी नहीं बदला है अभी।
We oppose reservation because outside of our families, we see everyone as strangers. But inside our homes, we practice the same principle every day and never really question it. So, what happens if we choose to not give any reservations? Well, history shows what happens when people feel excluded. The French Revolution began because common citizens had no power or resources. The Russian Revolution happened when workers were crushed by the elite, and in America, the civil rights movement rose from generations of systemic exclusion of Black Americans. Every major social upheaval in history started with one group saying, "We have been ignored long enough." So if there is a nation with discrimination and inequality towards a specific community, they will become rebellious. And that's why reservation exists not just in India, but in many other countries too. But leaders soon hijacked the narrative. What began as social justice now turned into political strategy. If you wanted a community support, you just offered them quotas. So to curb this trend, the Supreme Court stepped in. In 1992, they delivered a historic verdict in Indira Sawhney case. They said that quotas cannot be more than 50% in order to maintain the meritocracy. This cap was later revised in 2022, just 3 years ago, and raised to 60% to include the economically weaker section among upper caste groups. But ever since the Mandal Commission, dominant communities from different sections, many of them politically powerful and economically stable, have protested and demanded time and again that they should be included in the OBC category. So now the question remains, is reservation here to stay forever? Why is it so hard to reform the system, and is it truly killing meritocracy?
In this street live Brahmin.
Now, we are not the only country that has tried to fix inequality through affirmative policies. Until 2 years ago, the US also had a similar policy called affirmative action, which was designed to boost educational opportunities for African Americans and other minorities. The difference is, in our country, reservation representation includes political representation mainly to benefit the government and our politicians, whereas US affirmative action focuses mainly on education and employment. This means that US affirmative action is not tied to caste-based politics like it is in our country's reservation system. The truth is, caste discrimination is still very widespread outside urban bubbles where power and social status still decide how people are treated in our country. And unlike Black Americans, racism, or rather casteism, goes way deeper here than just your skin color. Even today, there are cases where Dalits or lower caste people are not allowed to walk on certain roads, they are not allowed to sit with upper caste or even drink water from the same wells. In 2023, the NCRB recorded nearly 58,000 crimes against scheduled castes, and it has only risen from previous years. And these crimes range all the way from physical violence to social boycotts and economic exclusion. But honestly, you don't need numbers to see how deep caste discrimination runs in our society. From something as casual as proud Rajput stickers on cars to something as serious as intercaste marriages still being a big taboo, there are enough signs that caste inequality is very much alive and well. In our society, there is no dignity of labor. So you'd rarely see someone from an upper caste, a Thakur or a Bharadwaj, doing these jobs. Even today, backward classes face quiet segregation. They're denied rentals under labels like vegetarian only or family tenants preferred. In villages, separate cups are still used for Dalits at tea stalls, and temple entry is still informally restricted for them. So backward class students are still asked today how they got in, as if their admission could not have been on merit.
70 साल में कितना बदला है देखा है? आज भी इंटरकास्ट शादी करने पर घर पे मारने और मरवाने वाली बातें करते हैं। ये सब नॉर्मल लगता है तुम्हें? सैनिटेशन का काम 50 लाख लोग, आज भी 90% दलित हैं उसमें। कभी किसी अपर कास्ट वाले बंदे को करते हुए देखा है तुम लोगों ने?
है तो यार, मेरे गांव में भी जब भी दलित लोग आते हैं तो फिर उनको चाय जो है अलग कप में मिलती है और वो घर से बाहर बैठ के ही पीते हैं।
आज भी 2025 में भी?
भाई ठीक है, चल मान लिया डिस्क्रिमिनेशन है, कॉलेज में तो सब इक्वल है।
इक्वल। बैकवर्ड क्लास स्टूडेंट जैसे ही हॉस्टल एंटर करे, पहला सवाल यही पूछा जाता है कि तुम यहाँ पे कैसे, तूने कैसे क्लियर कर लिया? एज इफ वो केपेबल नहीं है, एज इफ वो मेरिट के थ्रू अंदर नहीं आ सकता। 70 साल हो गए हैं, पर डिस्क्रिमिनेशन वो कहीं नहीं गया।
Ironically, the same reservation that was meant to reduce caste discrimination often ends up reinforcing it. If we look at when Mayawati became chief minister, there was a sudden shift that happened. Backward classes started coming forward. Different policies were introduced and people became more cautious in their speech. And now, for the first time ever, there were consequences for anyone that said something against the backward classes. So just having one backward class representative in power can actually change perceptions of many. And while reservation does have its flaws, it's still far from being just a waste of resources. Many believe reserved category students waste seats because they're not competent enough. Others believe that hiring through reservation leads to inefficiency and incompetence in bureaucracy or public services. But in a research that was conducted on a massive dataset study of 15 lakh Indian railway employees, there was no evidence of reduced efficiency or productivity due to reservation-based hires. And lastly, they say despite decades of reservation, Dalits and Adivasis have not improved and therefore the policy has failed. But again, research tells a different story. SC literacy rate rose from 10% to over 70% from 1961 to 2011. ST literacy rates rose from 8.5% to 65% in the same period. There has been a massive increase in SC and ST admissions into higher education since 1970s, and SC and ST representation in salaried jobs has also been increased by 5%. Point being, for every example, there is a counter example. But you cannot judge a macro issue with a micro lens. So will reservation ever really come to an end? Here is the important thing to understand. Private companies like Google or Flipkart or Microsoft, they don't care about caste. They care about real-world skills and whether you can code, design, sell, and solve real problems and whether you can add value. In majority of the private industry, you are valued based on your skills, not your caste. General category students are not struggling because reservation has completely blocked their path. They are struggling because the seats are too few and all of them are fighting over the same narrow paths. Engineering, medical, and a handful of government exams where the competition is massive. So yes, reservation does have flaws and loopholes that do need serious revision. But the reality is, reservation is not so widespread that it can destroy meritocracy on a large scale. Government jobs make up less than 6% of the Indian job market today. So if 1 lakh people are fighting for 100 seats, cutting them down to 50 will not solve the problem. The real solution is to expand opportunities, improve education, create more jobs and better skill pipelines. But that change will need to happen at a government and a policy level. So in this, what should you do? You need to realize that there are more opportunities out there as long as you have developed the skills needed to create value. Over 90% of India's job market does not depend on reservation, which is why you must honestly evaluate whether the career path you are choosing is it worth the years of preparation, the fees, and the high competition it comes with? And therefore, depending on just one route is risky and diversifying your opportunities is necessary. The truth is, there's not much you can do about reservation, but also there's no point hating those who get in through reservation because it has helped countless people reach a place where they can finally be treated as equals. And all of this points to the fact that reservation is not the real problem, opportunity is.